It's finally time for our main event. Welterweight champion Miguel Cotto against Zab Judah. Cotto is from Puerto Rico. Judah is from Brooklyn. Tomorrow here in New York, the Puerto Rican Day Parade, and the crowd seems for the moment to be favoring Cotto. We'll see how much that matters about 15 minutes from now. Cotto versus Judah is being brought to you by the Puerto Rican Tourism Company. Visit Puerto Rico today. By Corona Extra, miles away from ordinary. And by HBO Pay-Per-View, the best in pay-per-view entertainment, brought to you by HBO. Miguel Cotto is a titleist in a loaded division. The other title holders at welterweight are Floyd Mayweather, Antonio Margarito, and Kermit Cintron. A win against Judah tonight would help establish Cotto as Mayweather's most prominent foil and propel him toward a possible unification fight with Margarito in the fall. Meanwhile, it's come to this for Zab Judah. After losses to Mayweather, Carlos Valdemir, and Cottojudah, Judah needs a win tonight to regain some of the luster he had after winning the undisputed welterweight title over Corey Spinks in 2005, and to maintain his tenuous hold on star status. We are back live at ringside in Madison Square Garden. They forecast a packed house, and it has indeed materialized. Responses to images on the Jumbotron in the last couple of minutes in preparation for the fight have been ear-splitting. Manuel Stewart, there are 20,000 people in this building who didn't get the memo about boxing being dead. So let's get ready for Cotto against Judah. Can Miguel Cotto make Zab Judah succumb to his will and has relentless pressure as he has done to less talented opponents up to now?
I think that Cotto does have the ability to do that tonight. In particular, looking at this ring, which is 17 and a half feet, which naturally means that whatever Zab does, he's going to have to fight. But the thing that still gives Zab a good chance, and why a lot of people think he can still win this fight, because he still is very talented. And when he's focused and well prepared, like he did in the second fight with Spinks, he shows that he can be a real serious contender.
And generally speaking, focus and definition have been the trademarks for Cotto, whereas for Zab Judah, it's been something entirely different, Larry Merchant. In 3 of his 4 biggest fights, against Cottojudah, against Carlos Valdemir, and against Floyd Mayweather, he ultimately melted down into embarrassing behavior. Does Cotto need to be ready and prepared for dirty fighting here tonight?
Not the conventional kind, Jim. Conventionally, we're talking about sharp elbows, heads used as a third fist, holding and hitting. Zab Judah has become infamous for imploding, mostly after he gets hit harder or more often than he likes to. He runs, he chases others beside the fighters, he won't attack the fighters. He gets himself into all kinds of extracurricular situations. The only thing that the opponent has to do, Cotto, is to make sure he implodes again, because that means he will have won the fight.
And on a weekend when news media would suggest to us that the fate of the nation hangs in the balance of Paris Hilton's struggles in court, let's go into the ring where Michael Buffer will introduce national anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please as we prepare for the ring walk of the 2 fighters for the main event. Please rise at this time as we present 2 anthems. First of all, here to sing the anthem of Puerto Rico from Descarga Latina Orchestra, Joe Canta Jr.
La tierra de Borinquen, donde nacido yo, es un jardín florido de mágico primor, un cielo siempre nítido le sirve de dosel y dan arrullos plácidos las olas a sus pies cuando a sus playas llegó Colón. Exclamó lleno de admiración. Oh, esta es la linda tierra que busco yo. Es Borinquen la hija del mar y el sol, 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 del mar y el sol. ¡Que viva Puerto Rico!
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing. Here to sing the national anthem of the United States of America, a very special guest, SRC Universal Recording Artist, Melissa Jimenez.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Yeah.
Tail of the tape for Miguel Cotto against Zab Judah. A 3-year age advantage for the Puerto Rican fighter. And at some point in his career, Cotto's tour through the welterweight division may require him to take on much taller opponents, but not yet. Judah's height advantage over Cotto, only 3/4 of an inch here. An arm length advantage measured from the armpit to the end of the fist of 1.5 inches for Cotto. And they both weighed in slightly under the 147-pound limit. Unofficial weights not available here tonight in the state of New York. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Zab Judah Miguel Cotto fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3-knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim!
Zab Judah is returning from a 1-year suspension imposed by the Nevada State Athletic Commission after his meltdown and the riot which ensued in the 10th round of his fight April 8 last year against Floyd Mayweather. He had one appearance in April. It ended in less than 1 round with a no contest decision. So functionally, he's had less than 2 minutes of boxing in the ring in about a year and 3 months. What effect on him, Larry Merchant?
Well, he says that this has given him a chance to take a fresh look at himself. Judging by his weight, 145 pounds or so, he has trained very, very seriously. The question I ask myself is how does this young man maintain his self-belief in himself as a superstar after some of his recent misadventures? Is he just in denial? Is he just delusional? Or does he know something that most others don't, Emmanuel?
Well, this is common for most fighters. Most fighters don't like to face reality. Reality is not favoring them. And this is a typical case of that. I can't say he still is believing what he did with Corey Speaks in the rematch with Corey in his hometown. He can duplicate that again tonight.
He knocked out Corey Speaks before 23,000 people in St. Louis and said that he made them root for him. Fact is, he hasn't had an official pro win in 2 years, but he's thought of himself as a superstar ever since his amateur days.
And I think you have to have that type of attitude in order to be able to compete in any sport, whether it's real or not. But he believes in himself, and still his skills are still intact. That's why a lot of people are still betting back and forth. They know that he's still talented in terms of his skill.
He won three golden medals here in the golden, in the amateurs, in the Golden Gloves. He won 3 times in New York, and that's what set him off on this trajectory as a young star that many other people believed in and still believe in.
Well, in fact, in '96 during the Olympic trials, he and Floyd Mayweather were like back-to-back the 2 superstars and multiple talented fighters during those Olympic Games trials here.
And he fought very well in the first 4 rounds against Floyd Mayweather last April before ultimately succumbing to Mayweather's precision and Mayweather's emotional control. And talk about emotional control. Miguel Cotto weighed 10 pounds less on the scale yesterday than he did when he began boxing as a portly 11-year-old 15 years ago.
And you know, when you think of Cotto, the thing that comes to my mind, consistent performer. When I think of Zab Judah, the word comes to my mind, inconsistent performer. Those are the 2 factors that really, I think, most people believe that they give the edge to Cotto based on that.
This is the only fighter signed by Top Rank Boxing out of the Sydney Olympics in the year 2000. They put a ton of stock in him, Larry Merchant.
Yeah, in part because of his professional style, in part because he comes from Puerto Rico, a land of champions, where he would get this kind of a following that we're seeing here tonight if he was successful. And they brought him along beautifully. He's met all different types of fighters, and no young fighter has been better prepared for what could be a good test.
It's the 3rd consecutive year when Cotto has fought here in Madison Square Garden on the eve of the Puerto Rican Day Parade. 2 years ago, he avenged an amateur loss by knocking out Muhammad Abdullayev. Last year, he got a flashy decision over Paulie Malignaggi, breaking Malignaggi's cheekbone and beating him up. Tonight, he looks for win number 3 on the eve of the parade. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Mecca of sports and entertainment and the home of world-class boxing, Madison Square Garden, New York City, USA, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated is proud to present the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA Welterweight Championship of the World. Brought to you in association with Prize Fight Boxing Promotions. Sponsored by Puerto Rico Turismo and La Cerveza Más Fina Corona Extra. Sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, Chairman Ron Scott Stevens, and the World Boxing Association, Supervisor at ringside, Sebastian Contursi. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout on the 10-point system, John McKaie, Tom Schreck, and Nelson Vazquez. And inside the ring, the referee in charge of the action at the bell, Arthur Mercante. And now, for the thousands in attendance here at Madison Square Garden and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, Boricuas, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red with black, official weight 145 pounds. His professional record, 34 victories, including 25 knockouts, with 4 defeats, 2 no contests. From Brooklyn, New York, the 2-time champion, former light welterweight world champion, and former undisputed welterweight champion of the world, Zab Judah. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing white, red, and blue, official weight 146, 1/2 pounds. He has a perfect professional record consisting of 29 bouts, 29 victories, including 24 knockouts. From Caguas, Puerto Rico, the former light welterweight world champion and the reigning, defending, undefeated WBA welterweight champion of the world, Miguel Cotto.
Everybody out. Chief second only. Everybody out.
Mike. Good evening, gentlemen. You received the rules earlier tonight by the New York State Athletic Commission. Let's have a nice, clean fight. Touch gloves. Good luck to both of you. God bless. Let's go toe-to-toe.
This is talent and attitude, Judah, against toughness and character in Cotto. Toughness and character don't always carry the day, but tonight it's a 2-to-1 favorite.
Let's go, Miguel.
Just as was the case a month ago. For Floyd Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya, both fighters are visibly, magnificently conditioned for the fight.
And I think very focused, too.
And Miguel Cotto starts things off with a straight right hand against the southpaw stance of Zab Judah. Judah, by almost everybody's estimation, is quicker and has more hand speed. He says he also has more power. Cotto takes a little bit longer to make his mark in the fight. Ultimately, he focuses below the chest. Zab Judah says Miguel Cotto is a C-class fighter. He's never faced somebody who is a superb boxer with power, and that's me.
Well, every time that Cotto makes a move right now, he takes a big step that almost like runs in the punch. And he's going to have to be a little careful with that. Right now, particularly while Zab is sharp. See there?
And he gets caught with a big left-hand counter-punch shot.
Yeah,
and Zab believes that he hurt Cotto.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And he's going to go after him right away. And Cotto comes back, crashing with a left hook to the body, but he is hurt. He has definitely been wobbled by that early left-hand shot, and Judah's hand speed has made its mark in the fight already. But Cotto's been hurt before and has always fought back well. And now a low blow puts Judah on the canvas.
It's a warning. It's a warning.
And the way Zab is acting, it was a very effectively heavy low blow.
Much like the one he delivered to Mayweather.
Stay in your corner. You got a 5-minute rest. All right, hey, shake it off. You're a professional. Work it on. You want to rest?
The rules is you can't win a fight on a disqualification on a low blow because you should have proper protection underneath unless the referee, after a series of it, disqualifies you.
It was unintentional. It was accident. Don't retaliate now. I'm telling you, don't retaliate. You want to go? You ready? Yes, sir. Time in.
Gets 5 minutes, takes less than 2.
Cotto signals to him that it was an accident apologetically.
Cotto looks so much stronger in his punches, even though he misses a lot. He looks so much powerful, like a powerful bull throwing a punch at a dog or something, a small animal. It's so much more stronger.
Yeah, but Cotto wasn't the one who was hurt by one big shot.
No.
Zab Judah landed the left hand that dominated this round. And you wonder how necessary it was for Cotto to get the breather necessitated by the low blow.
I don't believe that, Jim. I think he had recovered from that shot, and he was trying to throw some body punches, and it was an accidental shot.
Two jabs land for Cotto.
He has no history of doing that.
Entirely true.
Okay, breathe. Just breathe. Give me water. You did good. First round. See the boxing? See the jab? That thing's throwing all wide shots. He beat you. Yeah. Stay in control, baby. Control. Keep that control. Stay in control, man. Yo, good shot. You hit him. Look for that. Absolutely.
Okay? Go with the hook to the body. Let's do it. Come on, keep your guard up. Keep your guard up. Always action.
Right here you see Zab Judah shooting a beautiful counter left uppercut as Cotto was coming in. Shot right inside, perfectly timed and executed. And right here you see Cotto shoots a left hook that goes low, lands right on the top part of the cup. Just enough to do damage. It wasn't very low, but it was just enough to really cause some serious damage.
CompuBox numbers in round 1. Cotto 15 out of 51, including 6 out of 18 jabs. Judah 16 out of 53, including 6 out of 34 jabs. Zab Judah started out with a good brisk pace, throwing 53 punches. One of his downfalls in some past fights has been a tendency not to throw as many punches as he should. Cotto usually fights at a measured pace. Between 50 and 60 is usually about the right number for him. Cotto seems devoted to trying to make his jab a factor early.
That's interesting, Jim, because Judah really, even though he's a boxer, doesn't really use his jab to set other things up. He tries to use his hand speed to make things happen.
That's a good point you pointed out. A lot of these guys, which people consider as boxers, they really don't jab that much. They usually just explode in flurries of punches.
Step back. Keep it clean now.
Cotto has been working on trying to sweep and right hook uppercut type. You can see him training a lot so he can anticipate where Zab's head is going to be when Zab bends to his left. I'm trying to catch him with one of those hook type uppercuts of his.
Combination by Cotto there. He's far more free-handed as a combination puncher once he gets going than Judah usually is.
And I'm surprised Zab hasn't thrown the punch that was so effective for him in the last round, the left uppercut counter shot.
Must still be looking for the chance. Perhaps Cotto has made some subtle adjustment to momentarily take the punch away. But eventually Miguel will settle into simply trying to land that left hook to the body, his money punch. Right now Cotto is boxing with Judah and doing a pretty good job of it. Puerto Rican crowd begins to chant for the man. Cotto momentarily switches southpaw, comes back to his normal stance.
Cotto's getting closer and closer, and the expression on Zab Judah's face is he's becoming very uncomfortable with the situation and the way that the fight is going. And as you said, Jim, it's interesting that Cotto's left jab is being more effective than Zab's jab.
There's the left hook to the body. First time he really rocked Judah with that punch.
But if he cannot stay in one spot right there and not throw punches back, because Cotto's going to keep doing that over and over and over.
Miguel Cotto's starting to make his punches count.
Zab has got to fire something back. He's not shooting. There's a lot of, there it is.
Catches him with a left hand.
That was a lot of opportunities for him to shoot the left hand, but he's not shooting.
Cotto in his tracks, momentarily stunned him with a straight left counter punch.
He could do that more often if he would throw the punch, because Cotto's wide open for the left hand, and the speed of Zab is right there, but he just is not punching enough.
This time Cotto ducks the left hand and gets in a couple body shots. Zab Judah has twice raked Miguel Cotto with left hand shots. Cotto has begun to establish his ground game, his hard work to the body.
But his defense is a little leaky.
That's why you always have to throw that left first, so he gets on the defensive, so he can't throw that left. Come on, breathe deeply. That's it, good one. Great job, you're doing real good. The only thing, don't forget your game plan. With your hands up and attack the body. Don't bring your hands down.
What now? No. When he come in, listen to me, look at me. When he come in, shoot them shots, tie him up. Touch your body, you got to keep them shots to the body, keep doing them.
Here we see Zab shooting the punch that I think he should be shooting more, because Cotto's been open all night for that shot, but Zab has not shown it, whether it's a straight left or a left uppercut. Because he keeps his right hand off to the side of his head the way he fights and leaves a perfect target for a left hand shot through the center.
No complaint. Two big moments for Zab Judah. Cotto beginning the relentless pursuit of pressure that defines his game. Second round goes to Cotto on the Letterman card. Some of these rounds could be hard to score, at least until a pattern is more fully established.
And it's interesting, Cotto has been hurt seriously in 2 rounds, but still has won those rounds.
I question how seriously he's been hurt. I think he was stunned, rocked. I don't think he was really hurt.
I think he was definitely more badly hurt in the first round than in the second. Now Arthur McKaie is looking to see if Cotto hits Judah in the back, which was something that Oktay Urkal complained about in Puerto Rico in Cotto's last welterweight title defense.
Judah looks like he's looking for the perfect punch to throw, and so he's letting Cotto dominate the round by hoping for the perfect punch. But that was a perfect low blow.
Stay there. Time. Judah is in agony and would be well advised to take more time to recover this time.
Zab, shake it off. I'm giving you 5 minutes. Let's go.
There's blood on the chest of Cotto.
Zab, you got 5 minutes, champ. Don't worry. Shake it off. One point, low blow. 1 point, low blow. 1 point, low blow. You want the rest? Hurry, bring my dick, man. Hurry, man. I know, shake it off. You got a 5-minute rest. You're a champ. Hey, you were a champ at one time. Shake it off. Can't win on a disqualification, bro.
Well, then the question then becomes, Emmanuel, that even if he can come back to fight, how does this affect him physically?
It's seriously going to affect him the same way when Trinidad landed that terrific left blow on Fernando Vargas. When Vargas had came back and it looked like was winning the fight, and Vargas never did get back into the fight
I'm
again.
still trying to figure out where the blood is coming. It's on the chest of Cotto.
No, Cotto's got a bad cut his lip.
I think it's coming from Cotto's mouth.
Yeah,
I think that
cut.
one of those left hands from Judah has hurt Cotto in the mouth, and that's where the blood is coming from. And now Cotto seems to want to do damage right away. Both fighters feel a sense of urgency as round 3 continues. And again, Zab Judah didn't take as long as one might have expected to recover from a low blow from which he reacted in such excruciating pain.
But Cotto is wide open for a straight left hand through the center. I'm surprised that Zab Judah's not throwing more left hands through the center.
Step back, that's it.
Cotto seems to be putting on a show of forced composure
There it is again.
amid the blood flow.
That's it, fight, fellas.
Hard left hand inside by Judah. And another counter left hand by Judah. Cotto going back to the body, despite the danger of landing another low blow and getting penalized.
And that sweeping right hand that he's been working on in training is the last thing that he needs to throw tonight, because he can start punching to the stomach, and by the time that Zab pushes his elbow down to block it, the punch will stray and go low.
For all his reputation of imploding.
There it is again. There it is again. Wide open for a straight shot from the left hand, whether it's uppercuts or straight left.
Judah is getting a lot of opportunities to land his counter left hand.
That was not low.
That was not a low blow.
Judah may be trying to buy a penalty point at this point. And Cotto hammers him with a left hook to the body to punctuate the round.
That's too many low blows. Took a point away from him, okay? Yeah, but he do it again. Hey, that's too many times. Keep it cool. Breeze. Back to do another Vegas with me. Let's have keep it cool.
All right, keep out cool. I took a point away from him. All right, we're like family here. We're like family. Let's keep it clean.
June 20, it's Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. We'll profile Johnny Miller, golf's most outspoken and candid broadcaster ever. July 11th, HBO Sports presents a 2-hour documentary, Brooklyn Dodgers, The Ghosts of Flatbush. Will chronicle the 10-year period from 1947 through 1957, when the Dodgers made history, wound up moving west, and became a beloved franchise in 2 separate cities.
You're doing Zab. You gotta keep talking. You busting them up. You busting them up. You gotta bust them up, baby.
Here you see Zab get hit with a tremendous low blow, and I mean that was the one that does a lot of damage right at the bottom of the cup where it lips right into you, and that's the one that really hurts.
Yeah, and I think in a way it's turned everything around in the sense that Judah has the reputation for imploding and melting down, and suddenly he becomes a sort of sympathetic figure here because he's been fouled.
And you heard Arthur McKaie Jr. tell Judah's corner that he had taken a point away from Cotto for the low blows. Harold, how do you have it scored in light of that?
Look at Jim, 29-27, 2 rounds to 1. Zab Judah. Jim, he won the first round clearly. He hurt Miguel Cotto. Cotto stopped him with the low blow. Otherwise, you know, it would have been worse. The second round, Zab Judah stung him again, but Cotto won the first 2.5 minutes of the round. Cotto won the second round. The third round, I thought Zab won it again, and Arthur McKaie took away a point, so it became a 10-8 round. 29-27, Zab Judah.
And now as the blood spritzes from Cotto's mouth, obviously he's cut inside his mouth somewhere on the lip.
I think it's a bad gash in his lip. I think his lower left lip has a bad gash inside.
Meanwhile, Judah is bleeding outside his right eye.
I have the fight even, by the way, because I gave the last round to Cotto.
Cotto threw 85 punches in the second round.
Now there is a slight cut on the left eye of Judah.
No, it's the right eye, Larry.
I'm sorry, the right eye. You're right, Jim. And keep in mind,
Cotto's starting to do damage again.
Keep in mind that Judah usually does his best work in the first half of the fight.
And Cotto is starting faster than he normally does, probably because of the urgency he feels now due to the low blow penalty and the bleeding inside his mouth. Cotto switching southpaw to give himself a chance at more power punching opportunities.
He seems to be just physically so much stronger. It looks like the natural weight is almost about 10, 15 pounds more.
Cotto starting to drive forward and pull Judah around the ring with his wider, stronger body.
Yep, and all Zab has to do is throw more left-hand shots, whether it's an uppercut or straight left. Cotto's right there to be hit, but he's just not punching enough.
elbow, Zab?
Both fighters are looking from time to time at Mercante. But Judah is doing it more frequently.
The left jab.
Cotto's starting to make his point.
The most effective punch for Cotto himself has been his left jab. The cut must be very bad inside of his mouth.
Hard right hand by Judah. Momentarily stops Cotto's assault. Left hook to the body by Cotto and a combination upstairs. Relentless pressure from Miguel Cotto. Cotto out of the southpaw stance, trying to bomb away with the left hand.
Those kidney punches.
Cotto beating Judah to the punch as Zab looked for a counter opportunity. And Arthur McKaie fairly tackles Cotto to stop the assault.
I hope you're enjoying the look back at Cottojudah. We're live at the Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. A title on the line, Lovemore Endo from Sydney, Australia by way of South Africa. Enjoying a look back at Cottojudah. He'll defend his 140-pound title against the Magic Man, Brooklyn's own Paulie Malignaggi. He wants to look good for his main event tonight and look good in the ring as he tries to take Endo's championship belt. That coming up live tonight on HBO's Boxing After Dark. Malignaggi Endo.
Don't give him any water. No water, please. No water, please. No water, please. Come on. It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Chief, man, you're not saying that, man. Don't worry about that. Look at me. Sit still. Shut up. Don't say nothing. You should champ. Now listen to this. You gotta go out there and fight like a dog. Listen to me. Wait in my eyes. Spend my eye. Pow. Yeah. That's a headbutt. Come on, G. Right. I had one. Yeah. You gotta keep it. I told you. You're gonna headbutt you. Keep your hands up. You gonna bust over.
Here you see how Zab Judah got the cut on his right eye. Right here, accidentally hit, but when they was coming up from an exchange. And you can see him pause and feel the blood coming down his face right away.
CompuBox numbers in that round, a landslide for Cotto. 32 out of 75 to only 9 out of 39 for Judah. This is one of the problems for Zab Judah in some of his big fights. The pressure builds, he throws fewer punches. When the pressure builds for Miguel Cotto, he tends to punch more, sometimes to the point of recklessness.
And right now, Cotto's left jab has been his most effective punch.
Let go, Zab. Let go. No, break. Stop over here.
As they wrestle momentarily, Judah seemed to be looking over Cotto's shoulder to get advice from his father, Yoel Judah, in the corner. Cotto's not looking for any advice from anybody. He's trying to hammer away.
Let go. That's it. Good sportsmanship. Stop holding. Let go, Zab. Let go. Break.
Cotto switches back into his regular stance.
Cotto's doing exactly what he should do. He's very physical, a lot of pressure, and Zab is starting to fold under it, I think, physically and mentally. Jab again. And that jab is hard. It's pumping out there just as if he was shooting the right hand.
You're looking at blood on both fighters. You're looking at physical warfare. You're looking at 2 fouls early in the fight. Jake LaMotta was at the Boxing Writers' Dinner last night here in New York. If there's a modern fighter that LaMotta could most appreciate, it's got to be Miguel Cotto.
Yeah, that was Miguel didn't do anything illegal, I thought, for the move. Zab was holding on.
Cotto just swamping Judah with activity. Not necessarily landing shots cleanly, but throwing.
The jab again. And that's because he's watching Cotto's right hand all the time, and he's never watching, and the left jab is doing most of the damage.
One of the questions that was raised before the fight was would Judah be able to hurt Cotto with one of those clean shots, hurt him really badly, and so far he hasn't shown that kind of power.
I like your phrase, he did stun him, but it was a serious stun, and if he had followed up more, I think he could have really seriously hurt him.
Judah's starting to bleed from the nose, and Cotto's starting to focus more of his attack upstairs to take advantage of it. There's a shot at that big counter left with which Judah has scored so much. He took 2 tries toward the end of the round, but it was another Cotto assault.
Zab, listen, baby, you're doing great. You know what I'm saying? You gotta throw punches from him. You gotta throw him. He's up on the round. He's up on the round.
Relax, relax.
Zab, you gotta show your heart. You gotta go. He's winning the round. That boy tired of six come.
Eso ya se paró.
That's it. It's already stopped bleeding. Watch his head. Where's the water? The water.
Emmanuel, you've talked about the effectiveness of Miguel Cotto's jab and what it has meant the fight so far. Here's the CompuBox number. Cotto has thrown 115 jabs and landed 46. That's 40%. Judah's thrown 155 jabs, 40 more. Landed 20, 25 less. He's landing only 13% of them.
But the power of Cotto's jab is no comparison. He got a powerful sledgehammer type jab with his left hand in his hand. And Zab is not punching with the authority with his jab, even when he lands.
And that left hook zipped Cotto right on the cut. Cotto's trying to pretend that he's not bothered by that badly cut lip. There's no way it wouldn't bother you. He's got a
bad
gash.
cut. His cut is much worse than his cut.
But he has a cut now that looks on his brow.
Yeah, from the eye, from that side.
Cotto hugged Judah as if to say, hey, it's a bloody war in here. We're going to work through it together. Now Cotto begins to paw at the right eye as the blood flows.
Leave it alone, leave it alone.
I think that was a headbutt too.
I think it was when he maybe hit him like on the break accidentally.
Watch that elbow, Zab!
I think the way Cotto deal with it just as a rough fight. So let's just deal with it the way it is and get him in this fight.
Let's keep it clean. Break, step back.
Cotto switches into that southpaw stance. He initiates the offense. Judah pops him with the jab and gets away.
Watch your heads now, again. Come on.
Cotto really hasn't yet established that body rhythm that would normally be the case against a conventional fighter. But he hurts Judah with the right hand.
I think he stunned him. He didn't. I don't think
to work on the body.
He stunned him, and then Zab kind of lost his balance.
Yeah, but he's wobbled a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the sledgehammer force of the shots. It's the commitment that Cotto makes to his punches.
This has turned out to be a tremendous fight.
Break. Suck it up.
Zab Judah's hand speed still superior, still very dangerous.
Yeah, just not enough. Just not enough of it. I think his skills are really superior to Cotto. Just Cotto's determination and continuous attack that he's been in, and his physical strength is just what's carried him through to the fight.
He just
and mental
never
strength.
stops fighting.
Yeah, and mental strength.
He just fights
and
through everything.
And he's winning the territorial battle because he's the one going forward.
Come on, work on that one. Everything's okay, everything's okay. Come on, this is our job. We came here to do our job.
Here you see Cotto getting a butt right there as they collided heads. I didn't see it. I thought it came for the little punch that came afterwards. I thought that was it, but it was a butt. And right here you see Cotto comes on a straight right hand dead on the chin.
So they are even on accidental headbutts, one apiece. Cotto has lost a point for low blows. Power shots through round 6. Cotto landing twice as many. 109 to 53. Harold, how do you have it halfway through?
Okay, Jim. 57-56, 4 rounds to 2. Miguel Cotto. Jim, I got him winning 3 rounds in a row. I mean, if it's momentum that's going to carry him, he's really going. He's really moving. I mean, he landed the cleaner, harder shots, relentless pressure, just staying on top of Zab, and Zab's not hitting him with that left hand that hurt Cotto like he did early in the fight. 4 rounds to 2, 57-56, Miguel Cotto.
I have it 5 rounds to 1. With the penalty point, that means in my scorecard, Cotto's ahead by 3 points.
Zab Judah starting to blink with the right eye as Miguel Cotto continues to bore in. Cotto being wary of that Judah left hand as he searches for shots. Cotto's corner's done a pretty good job with the cut under the lip and now the cut above the brow on the right side. Doesn't mean the blood isn't flowing, just that it isn't occupying his train of thought at this very moment. Cotto dipping under Judah as he looks to get to the body. Judah trying to rip him with the uppercut. Zab Judah's faster hands still quite apparent.
It's a big factor in this fight, whatever he throws punches.
Amazing how Cotto trusts his base and will go all the way down to a limbo squat. Ripping Judah with a left hook upstairs. And the blood starting to flow above Judah's right eye. Judah ripped Cotto with a left-hand shot. Catches him with a right. Cotto backs into the ropes. Zab Judah had a momentary opportunity there.
And Cotto seems to be the one anxious to get out of the clinch to get back to Judah right away.
This is Judah's best round since the first, showing the result of better conditioning.
Cotto with a body shot. Judah retaliates with a body blow of his own. Blood now flowing underneath Cotto's chin again. Hammering Judah with the left hook. Very rough physical fight. The will of Miguel Cotto resurfaces one more time.
Consistency.
Trying to steal the round back in the closing seconds.
He isn't really trying to steal the round. He just wanting to fight. He just fights continually and consistently all the way through.
You understand me? You got what you just did? Baby, listen to me, man. Listen to me. Zab, you got a punch. He can't take your shots. I told you that from the beginning. You can't take it. That's what I want to do. You understand what I'm saying? Zab. Round 8 coming up, Zab. Start putting together short combinations. Step around him. Inside 1, 2, 3, 4. Roll. He can't take the champ.
You got to show you what?
Come on, breathe deeply.
Suéltalo.
Let her go, let her go.
Vuelve. Es la cosa. Vuelve. Eso. Ok, dámelo.
Here you see Cotto coming in, and you see Zab Judah taking his time, placing a well-timed left hand shot right up in between the gap.
Much of this crowd staying on its feet all the way through.
You heard Larry Merchant say that was Judah's best round since the first, but in the end, Harold Letterman gave it to Cotto again.
It's just a fight that whenever Zab does explode, he's very effective. It's just that the consistency of Cotto is the biggest factor I can see in this fight. He continually fights at a steady pace, steady pressure all the time.
Stop hitting him on the ribs there. Break. Step back.
Zab Judah's father is begging him at times to throw more punches. You don't have to ask Cotto to throw more punches.
Come on, fellas.
That's what he does.
Judah does have a history in these fights of fading late in the fight. Let's see if he can sustain what he started in the last round.
But he knocked out Corey Spinks late, and that's the performance he points to as the benchmark for what he's expecting to do tonight.
I've seen Corey Spinks. He's no Judah. I'm sorry, no Cotto.
Good body shot by Miguel Cotto. Combination upstairs by Cotto. Judah fires the jab. 1, 2, 3, 4 jabs.
Both of you's on the head. Watch him.
Left uppercut.
Judah spending most of this round trying to get away.
Systematically, Cotto is breaking him down.
Judah showing some moxie here. Can he keep it going?
Stop holding, Zab.
Another left hook by Cotto. And he continues to crash away at Judah and gets the blood to flow from Judah's right eye again. Left, left, right, left to the body. Continued assault from the Puerto Rican star. And an uppercut from Judah momentarily stems the tide.
Judah took a bad beating in that round.
Zab, you gotta stop. Keep your hands up. Yeah, Zab, let me tell you something, man. Now Merchant over there talking shit about you. You got your daughters out there, your family. Yo, Zab, rumble with this bitch. You gotta keep hitting him. It's nothing. He can't. He's dead now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay there. 4. Zab, you gotta go. Feel good, Zab. Come here. Feel good. Let it go. Let it go. Listen, give me time. Give me the time.
Es lo que está sobreviviendo.
He's just surviving. He's just surviving. Go in with the jab. Come on, you got it. To the body, to the body. You got it. Finish it off. Finish it off with the combination up top.
Here you see Cotto get Zab trapped in the corner. And it's not any one particular punch. It's just the consistency that the way he's fighting. And it's taking its effect right now on Zab.
In the past, we've seen Cotto get a little reckless when he thought he had a man that he could take out. Does Judah have enough energy to take advantage of some openings if they develop?
All of Cotto's past difficulties have taken place early in fights. We're into Cotto time now. From rounds 9 and 10 on, he's been brutal and relentless, including his 11th round knockout of Urkel in his last appearance. You heard Yoel Judah begging his son to fire up emotionally and fight harder. In the 8th round, by CompuBox count, Miguel Cotto landed 31 power shots to only 6 for Zab Judah. And more strikingly, Judah only threw 32 punches. He needs to throw more. It's Cotto who keeps throwing. Cotto switching stances constantly now through the last few rounds. Either way, he fires with both hands.
Yeah, it's too much pressure right now. For the most part, Zab is pretty much done right now.
Zab Judah's right eye is beginning to swell badly, and he's starting to look unsteady on his feet.
Knowing that everything is wrong, he's not going to win a decision. He should at least try to let everything go in for one of those powerful left hand shots.
Let go of his hands.
There's nothing to lose at this stage. And
much of the crowd standing as Cotto continues the vicious assault. Arthur McKaie watching closely. Judah goes to a knee.
I think it was a good call on Zab's part. It was a good call. Not any one punch. It's just too much. He needs a break, but it's over with.
How long is it from here to a knockout?
Like waving a red flag in front of an angry bull. Judah has now shown Cotto his vulnerability. As if Miguel needed any further evidence of his dominance at this moment. Now he's going to try to whip his man. Hard left hand by Judah. A momentary comeback down the stretch.
You let your hands go. You gonna hurt him. Why you don't punch? You gotta punch. Listen, I see the eye. Get it, Jimmy. Go ahead. I see the eye. Zab, you gotta punch this motherfucker. The fight gonna change. Don't let him walk in your punch. Keep punching. You see him stop, right? Baby, look, Zab. You see him stop. Zab, you gotta throw punches. Don't just back up with your 1, 2, 3, 4. Then step around him. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open your eyes. Zab. I don't say you can take any more punishments. You gotta show me something. Zab, you got what you think. Relax. You didn't hit too much. Back it up. Zab, uppercut. Hold. Go. 1, 2. Put your hands up.
Here you see just such a series of punches and just abuse to the body, to the head, just totally to the point where he just needed to take a break to get away from the hammering. And the only thing that Zab figured they could stop him from punching at him was just drop to his knees.
Power shots in the 9th round. Judah landing 13 out of 21. He can still be accurate. Cotto 34 out of 61. A relentless, non-stop assault. Harold Letterman, how do you have it coming to the final 3?
Okay, Jim, 87-82, 7 rounds to 2, Miguel Cotto. He got that point back in round 9 when he dropped Zab that he lost in round 3 when Arthur McKaie took away a point for a low blow. Anyway, Miguel Cotto, relentless pressure, winning 6 rounds in a row. Oh my God, he just keeps coming. Zab Judah dropped to one knee because he couldn't see out of that right eye. 7-2, Cotto.
I have the same score.
It was a gutty show for Judah to fire those 2 big left hands in the closing seconds of the last round. Now we'll see if he can build something off of it in the 10th. And he's trying.
Even though he hasn't never seriously hurt Cotto too bad, Zab still has the ability. It wouldn't surprise me, but it won't hardly have ever to hurt Cotto and even knock him down or possibly out. Because he still has got fast hands when he does punch. He just isn't punching enough.
But he's not a big puncher, Emmanuel.
No, but the fact that Cotto get caught that he doesn't see it because he's so occupied on being aggressive, it would be effective.
Yeah, well, anyone could knock anybody down, that's for sure.
But Zab is not that weak a puncher. He's not a big super puncher, but he punches pretty decent.
Yeah, he's a doubles and triples hitter. He's not a home run hitter.
No. But when you're tired like this, in both guys' case, sometimes an easy punch can do a lot of damage.
Cotto's not a home run hitter either. But when you pile up enough doubles and triples, you score a lot. Back into the southpaw stance. Back into the full-scale assault for Miguel Cotto in the 10th round. Judah with a hard whipping right hook.
Judah is literally fighting for his professional life in this fight.
And showing more bottle than he's shown in many of his performances, Larry.
Absolutely.
He's got a lot of credibility he regained tonight in this fight, win or lose.
Break. Zab, come on.
followings will have something to carry out into the street, regardless of the outcome of the fight. And you suspect if Cotto wins this thing, Judah and his followers will point to the two low blows early and say, what would have happened if he didn't fire those low
uppercut
blows?
again. He didn't see it.
Just won't take no for an answer.
Judah is saying, I've got a heart, and he has certainly showed it, but he's taken a beating again.
Stop, drop, stop. Zab, when you let your hands, only when you gotta do is this. You gotta punch, man. I know your eyes messed up. Yo, Zab, you gotta punch though. That eye ain't shit. Yo, Zab, you heard him this now. Every time you punch, you hurting him. You hurting him. I'm telling you what you're doing. You stop punching. You all this waiting. 1, 2, drop. 1, 2, 3. You got it in you. You gotta pull it out. Don't let him walk to your butt. Shoot, shoot, go, shoot. Stay punching. Stay punching.
Close your eye, close your eye. Come on. Carefully, carefully. But I can't see, come on.
We'll get back to Cotto and Judah. We are live at the Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. Our main event still to come tonight. The 140-pound title on the line. Paulie the Magic Man Malignaggi, 22-1 with 5 knockouts out of Brooklyn, New York. The challenger. He'd like to take the belt away from the reigning belt holder, Lovemore Endo from South Africa. A father and 4 children. He'd like to walk out of the ring with a championship belt held high over his head. Can he defend tonight against Malignaggi? That is our main event on HBO's Boxing After Dark.
Wipe up this corner.
While we're talking about the courage of Zab Judah to keep fighting amid the deluge, how about the courage of Miguel Cotto to maintain his composure and keep gunning with blood flowing profusely from a cut lip since very early in the fight?
Jim, you must exactly what's reading my mind. It's just what I was thinking about. He's been so cool amid all of the pain that he's going through. He's never changed his expression.
Down on a right hand is Judah. Second knockdown for Cotto.
An inside right hand, short punch.
Cotto looking for the kill. Will that set up an opportunity for the counter-punching Judah?
Come on, let go.
After the knockdown and the ninth, Judah landed 2 big shots. He doesn't run anymore, or so it appears, and Arthur McKaie stops the fight. Knockout.
Zab Judah says he is a brand name. Cotto is branding his name.
They packed Madison Square Garden to the rafters. And what a show they got.
It's a great fight tonight.
A memorable fight, which goes into the annals of all the other great moments in Garden history. Here's the knockdown. Two right hands and a little left in the middle. Brilliantly done.
I didn't even see the left uppercut myself.
And now here's the finish.
At this point, it was just sheer exhaustion.
Cotto continuing to swamp Judah in punch output and Zab's legs gradually going away.
I have much respect for both of these guys, and especially a lot for Zab because, you know, he's never been in these type situations before.
This was a throwback fight.
Yes,
this was a throwback fight. This was like a fight out of the 40s or the 50s in Madison Square Garden.
Both guys suffered a lot of pain tonight.
A fight that Tony Zale or Tony DeMarco or Carmen Basilio or Jake LaMotta could well appreciate in the welterweight division. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Madison Square Garden, the official time, this contest comes to an end at 49 seconds of round number 11. The winner by TKO victory, still undefeated, still the WBA welterweight champion of the world, de Caguas, Puerto Rico, Miguel Cotto.
Midnight in Madison Square Garden. Celebration time for Miguel Cotto. The end of a brilliant fight. Cotto landed 292 total punches, 160 more than Zab Judah, who just didn't fight enough to keep the relentless Puerto Rican star off of him. Cotto throwing 224 more shots and landing at a 43% rate, beating a relentless tattoo against Judah's body and head. Power shots. Cotto landing 124 more, throwing nearly 325 more, 322 more power punches in 10 plus rounds. Judah landing at a higher percentage, was able to connect with brilliant accuracy when he threw, mostly counter shots.
But he just didn't throw enough punches. And that's a lot have to be given credit to Cotto. Cotto kept him so much on defense. As the saying goes, your best offense is a good, best defense is offense. That's what Cotto implied
This is
tonight.
the indomitable will of Miguel Cotto, once again displayed through pain, through punishment, through adversity, through threat. He keeps fighting and he wins. Let's go to Larry Merchant with the winner.
All right, thank you very much, Jim. Congratulations, Miguel. From the look of you, this was your hardest fight. Was it your best fight?
Well, I work pretty hard in the gym. I work pretty hard in the track. For all my Puerto Rican people here and in the island, thank you, everybody.
Was he as good or as tough as you expected?
But I don't expect any of Zab, you know. I know the kind of fighter Zab is, you know. But that's the reason I work pretty hard in the gym. And I expect the fight I have here, a tough fight.
You expected to stop him, you're saying?
Excuse me?
You expected to stop him.
But I in this round, I just came out for just pass the round. I tried to win. I didn't come out to stop him.
The low blows, they looked accidental, and you looked very apologetic. What do you want to say about those blows?
But every time I try to the lower body, he jumped. Look, he jumped. And that's the reason I hit him in the low. But I'm pretty sorry about that. That's not what on purpose. That's what incidental.
Do you think those blows affected him? Did those low blows affect him as a fighter?
I don't know. I don't receive those punch. Zab was the person who received those punch. You have to ask to him.
Did you sense that he was weakening as the fight was going along?
I feel him weaker round by round. That's the reason I try to press every round.
What was All right, we've just heard Zab Judah say great fight to you. Miguel, what does this fight mean to you in your career?
That's mean the best fight I ever have. With the best fighter I ever faced ever, Zab. I just came here to win. Sorry, Zab, about the low blows. That was accidental. But I'm with this fight. I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm pretty happy with the Zab work.
Would you describe for us the end of the fight when you knocked him down?
I think that was an uppercut. I catch him with an uppercut, and he falls down. No, that was the part.
That was after the knockdown. Were you surprised that the fight was stopped?
But I feel Zab can go more. But the referee stopped the fight. That's the decision of the referee. We have to respect that.
There are 3 fighters out there who are regarded as the elite welterweights along with you. Mayweather, Mosley, Margarito. When will you fight them?
You have to ask above. I'm ready for everyone.
Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Yeah. Zab. You were saying this was almost like a man against a boy, but the boy looked like a man tonight.
Well, you know what, Larry? Coming into this fight, I think with the first 2 rounds, I got hit with 2 hard low blows. I mean, the first one was hard. I went down. The second one was very hard. It took a lot out of me, and I had to continue. I mean, the referee kept making me fight, but I take no excuses for Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto is a great fighter. He's young. He came in there, but I would love to do a rematch in Puerto Rico. It would be beautiful.
Are you saying that the low blows significantly
drained me,
hurt you, and have affected the rest of the fight?
Yes, the low blows affected me from the, from the time it hit me. I got cut, I got head bunted, and after the head bunt, I was kind of exhausted from that. But I was in tremendous shape. I showed in the later rounds. I picked up the punches. I came back and hurt him. But I think that this fight, the cause for a rematch, definitely.
How strong of a fighter is he?
Miguel Cotto is a great young fighter. I think that Miguel Cotto and Zab Judah are 2 of the youngest, strongest fighters right now today.
Do you feel that in this fight that was a kind of make or break fight for you after some of your recent fights, that you fought well enough that people will want to see you fight in big fights again?
Well, people know every time Zab Judah steps in the ring, it's an action-packed fight. Just like I showed myself tonight, it was an action-packed fight. And I feel like in a rematch, I know Miguel Cotto's style very well. I think that in a rematch, it'll be a greater, better fight.
Thank you for a good fight, Zab.
Thank you very much.
Jim?
A lot of things happened in the fight, Larry. Round 1. Zab Judah catches Miguel Cotto coming in with a brilliant counter left uppercut. Seconds later, the first of the 2 hugely significant low blows, and Judah goes down in agony. He took less than a minute and a half attempting to recover from that low blow and came back to fight again. In the 3rd round, once again, this time Cotto connecting lower on the bottom of the cup, and Judah in excruciating pain from that low blow, but once again took less than 2 minutes of the allotted 5 to recover. Then in the 4th round, their heads came together, and it was Judah who sustained the damage, a cut above his right eye from which a small amount of blood began to flow, not a huge factor in the fight. Turnabout is fair play. In the 6th round, it was Cotto who was head-butted, and the blood began to flow from Cotto's right eye to match the blood that was flowing from beneath his mouth through much of the early portion of the fight. But he also started to barge forward, landing solid right hands and lefts. In round 8, the relentless assault stepped up. Judah bravely waving him in, but he was taking a lot of punishment. In the 9th round, Cotto hammering away, and Judah, hurting, went down to one knee, trying to recover from the relentless assault. And then finally, 2 rounds later, after the knockdown of Judah, Cotto chasing Judah along the ropes, and referee Arthur Mercante stepping in to stop it. At a big charity dinner Monday night in Los Angeles, you're going to be the man of the year. The man of the hour tonight is Miguel Cotto, and what courage he showed in a rough, challenging fight.
When you use the word courage tonight, you have to kind of split that up. But the consistency of Cotto is what impressed me. I mean, his facial expression never got ruffled. He was cut very badly. I think that lip cut, he was probably swallowing blood also, which made him sick. But he never changed his expression, stayed strictly business. And Zab Judah regained a lot of respect, I think, for everybody for the night. It was a really good fight.
The people who thought that Zab Judah would get the best of Miguel Cotto in this fight pointed to his hand speed and his punching power. And both at times showed up. But Cotto was able to get past it.
Well, that's the word I used before the fight. One guy has a reputation of being consistent, period. And that's what Cotto is. And inconsistency is the word that goes with Zab. But he did show that he had those skills. And that's why a lot of people bet on him to win this fight. But he didn't do it consistently enough.
How big a debilitating factor were the two low blows?
I think they may have hurt it, but I don't think it was that bad, I'll be honest with you. Those protection cups usually help a lot. And after I saw them again on the replay, I actually saw one of them where Cotto was starting a punch and his head was like pulled down, and that's why the punch strayed low. But I don't think they had a big effect on it. I think the consistency of the attack of Cotto is what really won the fight for him.
As we turn to Larry Merchant, I'm thinking of a line you once used about Lennox Lewis a long time ago. Yeah, sure, he's got chinks in his armor, but look at all the armor.
If you're a fighter like him, you're going to get hit. And the issue always becomes, what do you do next? And what he does next is come back at his opponent. But I was struck tonight by what I would call the sound of music for boxing fans. And that's the cheers and the raucous crowd that came to see prize fighting and saw much of it at its best. The drama of blood, the drama of knockdowns. According to Todd DeBuff of Top Rank, the crowd tonight was 20,600, a record for Madison Square Garden. They came to see something, they saw something, they'll be back.
Well, and kudos for good and consistent scoring, incidentally. I'm told that all three official judges at the time of the knockout had Miguel Cotto leading in the fight by identical scores of 97-91. What's next? Well, a little bit later on, next month, we're going to see Antonio Margarito, another powerful force in the welterweight division, against a rising star named Paul Williams. If Margarito can somehow get past Williams, he and Cotto, who were expected at one point to meet tonight, are finally expected to meet each other later in the fall. The winner of that fight would loom as a totally likely and eye-catching opponent somewhere down the road for the #1 fighter in the sport, Floyd Mayweather. It was a huge night in Madison Square Garden before a record crowd and an unforgettable fight that people will be talking about for quite some time. The winner is 30-0 with 27 knockouts, Miguel Cotto. Thanks very much for being with us tonight. Cotto versus Judah has been brought to you by the Puerto Rican Tourism Company. Visit Puerto Rico today. By Corona Extra, miles away from ordinary. And by HBO Pay-Per-View, the best in pay-per-view entertainment, brought to you by HBO. We'd like to thank the following internet partners. And now for our entire crew, I'm Jim Lampley saying so long from New York City.